It says you are live. I'm here with my mom, Barbara Postman.
Hello.
And here we are. Happy New Year, everybody.
This is from me too.
Yeah, this is exciting. Our first one of the new year, and we're kicking off the new year, right? It's absolutely gorgeous here today. I don't know what it's like where you are, or if you're not watching on Sunday, the first Sunday of the year, let us know where you're watching from and what day it is. So we are really excited. This has been super fun. And so today, my mom has some special stuff to talk about. But Mom, can you just share with us, for if people are jumping on for the first time or they don't know what movement moments are and they don't know your story, can you just share with us a little bit about your story, how you develop movement moments, and kind of a little bit about that?
Okay. All right. So I've been interested in movement for many, many years. And as I got older, past 60, past 70, I realized how important it is to stay flexible, to stay mobile, and to stay strong. And lots have been written about this and everything else, but it really works when one does that. And so I started to compile. I got very interested in different methods of moving, and I started to compile ways of moving and ways to fit movement in your day. I'm very interested in the natural movement, which talks about moving the way our bodies are designed. So we were really designed to be hunter-gatherers, even though we're no longer anywhere near that. We're not culturally evolved, but our bodies haven't made the change. So they really need movement. And so Movement Moments is a program where you just fit things into your day rather than along with your exercise program, or if you don't have time to exercise, you get it in anyway because you're doing these movements, which move many parts of your body as possible. So I did I started thinking about the importance of movement, and I decided to look into a little bit. I've looked at this before, but I wanted to refresh my own memory about it. And you know how they say, oh, you should walk like 10,000 steps. Okay, so where does that come from? There's been a bunch of studies. There was one in 2011 from the International Journal of Behavioral Nutrition that found that healthy adults actually take anywhere from 4,000 or less to 18,000. And they set 10,000 steps as a reasonable goal. And so, but they found that the average American adult only makes it to about halfway of that goal. And this was back before coronavirus had us all sitting here and not even moving even less. And we're behind other countries. The US at this time, it was 5,000 steps was average. Switzerland, 9,600, Japan, 7,000, Australia, 96 something. So really, and then this was interesting. They studied older Amish communities, and they found that both adults and children logged in 4,000 to 18,000 steps a day. Of course, they don't have cars. So they have, they need to walk everywhere. And as hunter-gatherer, now hunter-gatherers take an average of anywhere from 15 to 20,000 steps a day. I mean, that's current hunter-gatherer populations. And so, Robin told me the other day that her goal is 15,000 steps a day. And she also, tell them what you told me about when you do your class, but you're busy and you don't go out that much.
Yeah, so I noticed a couple of years ago, I have an Apple Watch now, but I didn't always have one. I had a Fitbit for a while. And anyway, I noticed that when I was tracking my steps, just out of curiosity, I'm not teaching now at the gym, but when I was teaching my classes twice a week at the gym, thank you, Sharon. Good to see you on here. Hey, Maxine, you guys are awesome. Happy New Year. Thanks for sharing it out. We love to help as many people.
Happy New Year. Right.
And there's so many people that need to hear this, you all. It's basic stuff. And when you hear it, you're like, well, duh, right? This is obvious, but it's not common. Like there's so many people who don't do it that it really needs to be repeated over and over. So what I was going to say is when I was teaching my classes twice a week at the gym, they were high intensity circuit cardio workouts for 45 minutes or 50 minutes, depending on the day. I would, in those days, so I taught Tuesday, Thursday. So on a Tuesday, Thursday, I usually would do my workout in the afternoon when I taught. And I do my other work during the day. And those days ended up being packed with a lot of work. Sage was in school. And I was sitting in the car or working in the car or working on the computer more, or, kind of not physical work. And on those days I was doing my workout at the gym. But I would notice those were the days I had a hard time hitting my step goal, which is 15,000, because I like to have a little bit to push for, and 10,000 is like normal for me. So on the days where I didn't do a quote formal workout, I got 15 to 20,000 steps. We were outside, we were working cows, we were doing chores, we were moving firewood, whatever it is. So it fits right in with what my mom's saying. You can get your steps in, or it's not the same kind of workout as going to the gym and lifting weights. I'm not saying don't do it. It's super important, but there's a lot of ways to move your body. And I found I also burn more calories on those days than the days I did a high intensity workout for an hour. So it was really interesting to see. Just that was me personally, in my own body and my own experience. But I know it's true when I talk to my friends and I help people with their fitness. It's just, if you move more often throughout the day, you're going to burn more calories, and your body works, it loosens up and it just works better. So,
yeah. And research has shown that even if people have a regular exercise routine, they go to the gym or whatever number of times a week, if they are sedentary for the whole rest of the day, they are not moving enough. They do not go anywhere near 10,000 steps. And the other part is, you can actually, there was another study that just came out at the end of 2018 from the federal government Department of Human Services, had a physical activity guidelines advisory committee, and they came out with new guidelines. And what they said was approximately 80% of US adults and adolescents are insufficiently active. Physical activity fosters normal growth and development and can make people feel, function, and sleep better, and reduce risk of many chronic diseases.
Okay, so what is their measure of adequately active? Because that's the scary. Yeah. It's scary. What is it?
Yeah, the scary part is they're saying up to 10,000 steps, but 80% of people, which is actually not high enough if you want to be really fit and active, and if you want to do what your body's designed to do. Your body is designed to move more. But the other thing they said, which is slightly different than focusing on the steps, they said even the smallest bouts of exercise count. Whereas previously, and so it used to be that aerobic physical activity for adults had to occur in sessions of at least 10 minutes. But current evidence shows that the total volume of moderate to vigorous physical exercise is related to many health benefits, not bouts of a prescribed duration, which are not essential. So that means, I remember Robin Robin does daily morning do chores with her. And I remember her talking about how she carries things at a certain, you tell them there's leverage when you're carrying something that makes it heavier. And so she goes out of her way to make things heavier. So that's one way that you could actually work out when we're not at the gym. We all have to carry something sometime. And even if they're not, buckets of grain or water, which is really heavy, you probably are carrying some things that you could make heavier by what do you do, Robin? You simply hold it out. Or
I do curls, I do arm extensions, I do all squats, lunges. I mean, I will, full disclosure, I'm sore today because I told myself I was going to do lunges yesterday during chores. I did lunges the whole time. Like, chores is not 5 minutes. Yeah, a little bit, I'm wearing full winter gear with big boots on. And I just, instead of walking from the horse pasture to the calf pen, to the chicken house, to the grain room, and I just did lunges instead. And so I'm sore today, but it's good sore, but it's so true. I need to do another one of those videos. I was going to do it yesterday, but it was a little too cold in the morning for my phone. But, it is amazing when you can do curls with grain buckets. You can do with grocery bags. It's amazing. So
I'll tell you another thing. Stairs are a gift. If you have stairs in your house and you try walking, first of all, you can take 2 at a time. But the other thing you can do is you can walk up very slowly and try as hard as you can to not to lean forward, but instead to use the back of your body and to keep your shin vertical when you go up the stairs, and do it slowly. That's a lot of work.
Like back up a little and show us that, because that's really keeping with your knee. I can back up to it. Show us.
Wait a second. Let me show you what I mean. Let me get it. Here, I'll get this. This is a step. So let's pretend that's your stair and you're coming up. You know, most of us just go like this. So what we're doing is we're using our quads and our knee, and we're actually putting stress on the knee too if it's not in good shape. So what you can do is if you step up like this, you stand up straight and you sort of lean back and you walk up this way. You're really and you do it slowly. See, I'm not even in that great shape right now. I haven't done this for a while. I better get going. You do it slowly. I should have practiced this before I showed up tonight.
But it uses your whole posterior chain, your glutes, your
hamstrings, which is what we've been talking about. So you just do that and you step up. And so you take an extra 5 seconds or 10 seconds to walk up the stairs, or 15 seconds, but that's all it takes. And you do that, you are doing some real work. And there's tons of things like that. I have some more, but I'm sure Robin has even more because
I'll tell you right now, the gyms around here have been closed. I work out at home anyway, but if I don't get my workout in the morning, like early hours of the morning with weights or, body weight workout, I don't panic because I can fit it in. I can do against a panel while I'm waiting for a water trough to fill. I can do dips against that same panel. I can do lunges. I can do squats. I can do jump squats. I can do push-ups. Like I said, you can do, well, I don't know how much. I mean, if you put your arms out like this, you could do arm raises this way, arm raises out front. You can do 45 degrees with your thumbs up this way. And you can do external rotation. I don't know. Let's see. External rotations out this way. You can do curls with whatever you're carrying. So your purse, how many of us, when we go places, carry bags of stuff like that? If you get it off your shoulder, which is not good for your shoulders. I have one shoulder that hangs too low because I've always carried my stuff on my right shoulder. Put it in your hand. And even if you only have one bag, count 10 curls with your right hand, 10 curls with your left hand. And I don't know if you can really see. Let me turn this down a little bit.
And even if it's a light weight, if you do it slowly, and especially slowly coming down and with, isometrically, holding firm, it's working. You're working yourself.
Yeah. Hey, Christy, thank you. You're welcome to come back and watch the replay. So great to see you. I know she says it's been almost 40 years since she's seen us. It's good to see us. You guys, this is not to interrupt, but I love this because there's people from all over and all decades of our lives. And this stuff applies to everyone. Okay. Everyone's busy. Everybody wants to get in better shape. It's not just at the beginning of the year, but especially right now. And especially with all the COVID stuff and it's winter, right? So I'm going to turn this down. I need to do one of these videos when I'm out. But if you have, I have a camera case right here. Okay. I'm going to guess it weighs 8 pounds. It's maybe 10. So you can curl out to the side. You can curl in front of you. Okay, if you really want to get excited, you can do overhead. You can do tricep extensions this way. Okay, or you can do overhead presses straight up over. Well, let me squat down here. Straight up overhead, right? That's just if you just repeat, 5 or 8 to 10 reps in each direction with each arm. When you're walking somewhere, you will A, increase your heart rate, B, increase the calories you're using, and your muscles are going to get a workout. And this is about the weight of most people's purses. Like my purse is heavy. Most people have heavy purses or a computer bag, or don't overdo the weight because when you get to these kind of exercises with your shoulder muscles, it can be easy when you do higher reps. But a grocery bag, when you carry groceries from your car to your house, you can get 5 reps.
Don't use a grocery cart. Don't use a cart to take your groceries out unless you have a huge amount. Right. But if you have a few grocery bags, don't put them in the cart. Take them and use them because they're your exercise equipment. And it's just perfect. And
so a jug of milk, like a gallon of milk. Okay, correct me on this. A gallon of milk and a gallon of water. One weighs 8 pounds, one weighs 10 pounds. And I can't ever remember which one's which. I'm going to say the milk weighs more, but anyway, 8 to 10 pounds in a gallon jug.
That's a lot of water. That's a lot.
A lot of weight, you all. If you want weights, you just fill up gallon jugs with liquid, right?
Or fill them halfway if you don't want. You want 5 pounds. You don't need 10 pounds.
Carrying stuff all the time And my mom and I go back and forth. You'd probably laugh at our phone conversations, but I'll call her, hey, guess what I just figured out? Like, we have these conversations all the time because we're constantly, she's teaching me stuff all the time, and I'm giving her ideas too. So when you're walking, when you're lifting, when you're carrying, I mean, how many times a day, if you're watching still, let's hear you drop some stuff in the chat, and we're almost going to wrap this. I mean, we're just about ready to wrap up, but drop some things in the chat of activities you do carrying stuff every day, like your lunch on the way to work, or girls' laundry down the stairs, or like my mom said, walking upstairs. That's a huge one. The other thing I do, I take it one step further because I'm just that way. I step up. I don't know if I can show you all the way at the floor, but I can't get back far enough where I'm standing. I step up on the stair and then I do a toe raise.
Yeah, the toe raise was the last thing I was going to say. Is that I try not to sit down too much. That's the other thing. Try to do as many things standing as you possibly can, and a lot of time. And doing toe raises are very powerful. And let me show you. You don't. Oops, wait a second. I forgot about this. You want to make sure when you do a toe raise that you don't that your foot. I better take this off. That your foot doesn't go out to one side or the other. You want to make sure that you're raising straight up. So in other words, from the back, you're raising straight up as you go up, not out here. You don't want to twist your ankle. So focus on just going straight up. It strengthens your ankles, and it's a lot.
Whoop. We lost my mom. I bet she hit a button by accident, but she's absolutely right. The angle and the direction, when you do this is a huge thing, you all, with, like, she talks about standing on one leg. That's probably one of the biggest things I've picked up from her. Hopefully she'll jump back in here. I'm going to text her real fast and have her jump back in the meeting room. But keeping the angle of your body straight, like when you become aware, here she is, of how you're moving your body.
I touched the computer the wrong place and it turned me off the whole thing.
Hey, Liz, how are you?
I'm sorry we have to go. We're over time, but I just want to say next week, I think I would like to talk about a strategy. I mean, we're continuously throwing things out on what to do. And it's one thing to know them, but it's another thing you're saying, oh my gosh, now my I'm like overwhelmed with all these things that sound great. They all sound great, but you got to be able to they don't work if you don't do them. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that next week and hopefully have something.
No, make some comments in this episode. If you come back and watch the recording, or if you go back, if you just jumped in here, thank you for jumping on. Go back and watch it from the beginning. But we are going to help you with a strategy to incorporate these one exercise at a time and become aware.
Yes,
you're right, Sharon. That honestly has been one of my biggest, since we started doing these lives with my mom, standing on one leg and making sure my hips are not cocked out to the side. That's been one of my biggest pivotal shifts. I can tell you, I've had hip issues and low back issues for years. And that single thing has been huge for me. And when I first started doing it, it got sore. Like I couldn't stand on one leg for very long.
That's extremely important. It's the source. So many of our
it like literally aligns your hips and pelvis. And I have gone to chiropractors, and not that I still don't need to sometimes, but I haven't been in a long time. And it's been amazing just becoming aware of how you hold your body.
Exactly.
I talk about your core a lot. I talk about abs and core. I had an injury, and I don't really call it an injury, but when I was in high school, cross-country skiing, I bent down. I'll never forget this. After the ski race, to take off, you're right, Sharon, belly button is key. So I bent down to undo my bindings after a cross-country ski race, and I couldn't get up. I had to fall over to the side. And we went, and my mom took me to a chiropractor. That was the first time I'd ever been. He did x-rays, and I found I had an extra vertebrae in my lower back. It's attached. It's not floating, but there's not much room in there. And I'll never forget, he told me then, you have to keep the core strong just to keep your back stabilized. You're right, Liz, carrying your granddaughters. And Liz, I want you to talk to my mom about carrying kids, your grandkids.
Yeah.
Let's go back about, I don't know, the first or second episode, and watch what my mom talks about carrying my nephew, her grandson, when he was younger, and cocking your hip out to the side. It will kill your back and your hips. Like we've all done it, right? But that single biggest thing. So
if it doesn't kill it that day, it'll catch up with you later.
Right. So carrying your kids, grandkids, little ones, if you have a daycare, that is so critical how you carry them. You guys, I have this knot in my, this thing is backwards. Knot in my wrist that I work on every day from carrying my daughter when I was breastfeeding. She was tiny when she was born, and I could carry her like a little peanut. And I was breastfeeding, and like Paul and Babe, she just kept growing, and I didn't even think about it. But pretty soon I had my wrist was dislocated because it was just over time I had it at the wrong angle. And that's just a subtle thing, but it's plagued me for the last 6 years. So
that's why it's repetitive motion we're talking about here. Yeah, we should go.
So you can have repetitive motion in the negative way or the positive way. So we have
exactly.
Amazing. Thank you for jumping on here. We're going to jump off because I don't want to go too long, but drop your comments of things that you want us to talk about. Also talk about, part of success with this is becoming aware of what your body is doing. And then we can fix it, right? It's like anything you want to change. If you're not aware, you can't fix it. So that's going to be a big goal in 2021 for us to help you fix things. You have to become aware first. You know what hurts, but let's start to become aware of what we're doing to cause it. And then we can fix it, right? So drop some things below on maybe something, start with what is bothering you guys. Then we can backtrack and think about how we can fix that. So anyway, Mom, yes, you guys are so awesome. Thank you all for jumping on. Please feel free to share this, tag people in it who you think need to hear it. We're going to try. It's so hard. Humans are hard. Like, I'm a human. We're all humans. All change our habits, right? Really hard. But once you start, the first way to become, to change it is become aware of it. The second thing you have to do is repeat the correct way.
Right.
So,
and then congratulate yourself with a win. That's the other one.
That's right. And really pat yourself on the back. So we're going to help you work through that. If you want more information faster than we're getting it to you, reach out to either one of us. We both have, we work together a lot. It's super fun, you guys. This is so much fun with my mom, I have to tell you. So we're so glad you enjoyed this. Drop some comments and things that are bothering you, and we're going to help you work through ways to incorporate some major, small, but powerful shifts into your day.
Okay. If you think it's fun for her, you should see how much fun it is for her mother. Okay. Goodbye, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you all. Thanks for joining us.